Hi all, welcome to RnP Cricket Insights. Sri Lanka versus England, third test at the Oval. What a glory day for Sri Lankan cricket. Sri Lanka won the match comprehensively, and English bowlers did have no answers at all for Pathum Nissanka's brilliance today. Exactly 26 years ago, Sri Lanka won a test match that was a high scoring game in this particular venue, Oval Cricket Ground in London, where Sanath Jayasuriya and Arun De Silva dominated in terms of the batting, and then Muthaiya Muralidharan single-handedly won the game for Sri Lanka as far as the bowling is concerned. But after 26 years today, Sri Lanka won a game in the same venue at the Oval Cricket Ground, thanks to Pathum Nissanka's batting brilliance, backed by Kamudu Mendes. This time also we have a main duet, and then when it comes to bowling, this is not a single-handed effort at all. We had a wonderful unity, and that was a unity in the strict sense of the word, with the help of Asita Fernando, Lahiri Kumara, Vishwa Fernando, and our new finding, Milan Ratnayaka. So ultimately, Kamido Mendes became the man of the series, while Pathum Nissanka got the man of the series award. And when it comes to the England perspective, Joe Root rightly got the man of the series award as well, having hit a couple of hundreds. So Sri Lanka are unbeaten in this particular venue, over as far as the Test cricket is concerned, for this, in the history of Test cricket, I would say. And then England in their summer, 2024, with another Test series win, 2-1. So altogether, they played 6 Test matches and they won 5, and then they lost the final game against Sri Lanka in their summer. So Sri Lanka jumped into number 5 in World Championship table. So at the minute, I think the table is pretty much balanced after Bangladesh victory in the last week. So it was a glory day for Sri Lankan cricket, Rakita. Thanks for joining with me today as well. I definitely know that you have some things to highlight as well in this glory day. So what are your thoughts on this magnificent win today, and overall perspective of this series as well?
Yeah, yeah, Prasad, it's a great day for Sri Lanka. So at last, at the final day of the series, we have Mesh as the victorious team. So after 10 years, we didn't beat uh, England for 10 years. So it's not only in England, but in Sri Lanka as well, we couldn't win any matches. And I mean, there are two whitewashes in 2018 and 2022. I think 2021 or 2022.
2016, I think.
No, in Sri Lanka,
And Sri Lanka, yeah,
after
correct.
COVID.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, correct. Yeah.
And so I think after 7 consecutive losses to England in Test, we have won this match. So this is a great achievement, and we have done it in England soil. And the batting master class of Pathum Nissanka. So what a hidden gem he is. I think he should be our we, best batsman in all the formats, regardless of the white ball or red ball cricket. He should be given. He should be selected as the first choice opener now. There's no point of wasting his time. Time goes quickly, and we are not playing much of Test cricket, so we are wasting a great talent and opportunity for a youngster to become a uh, great player in 10 years time. So I think we should not do that mistake in the next series and in the future, and stick to Pathum and give him the confidence that he needs. And we all know how he's playing his game now. So he's full of confidence, and every shot he's playing is middling, and he has the right temperament and right intensity. So I think it's a great thing. At last we have given him the chance to open the innings. Um, Yeah, Prasad. I think this is with this century, he has become he has joined some elite uh, players who has scored centuries in uh, fourth innings, four victories in England soil. So he is the seventh batsman to do so in England soil. Earlier, I think the players like Sir Don Bradman and Gordon Greenidge, Arthur Morris, Graham Smith, Conrad Hunt, like players, even the West Indies, Shai Hope also recently scored a century in a victory against England. So he has joined that kind of a great panel, and it's a great honor for Sri Lanka. And scoring a century in the fourth innings in a test match is very rare feat.
Yeah,
So let's celebrate him.
yeah, exactly. Scoring any runs in the fourth innings, when you are chasing in any
Yeah,
condition against any opposition, is always a great thing. So I think he has done that without any risk at all. So that's a significant part. It was effortless cricket. We haven't seen such cricket, very recently from Sri Lankan openers at all. So that was a great, performances by him. So before going to some, analytical points that we can discuss today, with regards to this, the concluded test series as well as the series that is going to be started. So I would like to highlight some of the key points with regards to the series that we concluded. When it comes to the win that we registered today, that was the fourth test win that Sri Lanka registered on English soil in the history of Test cricket. And also, Sri Lanka has won all the test matches that we have played in this particular venue, like I said earlier as well. And the other significant point is that, this is the highest successful run chase by an Asian in English conditions in the 148 old test cricket history. So that is remarkable. And, that shows what sort of an inning Pathum has played under pressure. For him, actually, there was no pressure at all. But theoretically, any batsman should be having a pressure. But, due to his class, he didn't have any pressure at all, or he didn't show any pressure at all. So that was high class inning from him. I'm repeating that. We are not going to discuss about the summary of the cricket series that was played, but we have, some analytical points to be discussed in this segment of today as far as the Sri Lankan cricket is concerned in the whole. Doctor, now, as you know that, we are going to have a new test series as well, which is going to be started in next week. So we don't have a break at all. These guys, don't have a break at all. So they have to come back to, Colombo, and then all of a sudden they are going they are going to get some alien, conditions again, as far as the conditions that they have been playing all this time is concerned, because that's going to be played in goal. So before going to that one also, I would like to hear from you the some positives that we can take from this particular series with regards to Sri Lankan batting. What you have to say
yeah.
about that?
Yeah, Prasad, the first positive was coming to Bendis, obviously. So he's the player of the series for Sri Lanka in this series, and he has scored a half centuries in every match. And I think he has a record, ongoing record of scoring six uh, half centuries in consecutive tests. It's not the consecutive innings, but if you take the test matches. He has scored half centuries from his debut up to now. So that's a record, and I think if he scored another half century at least in the next match, he will be equaling the world record. I think that's the world record is with South Shakil, I think, for the moment. So that's a kind of a run that Kamidu is in, and is really a great prospect to Sri Lankan test and also in the ODI formats. And the next positive is Pathum's inclusion as the opener. Definitely, so that's a the best thing happened in this series, and selectors had to go for that option at last. So it's a great thing happened, and we will see some big scores from Pathum in the next test series coming up in the latter part of 2024. And the other positive is Dhananjay. Dhananjay is also a consistent performer as test batter. So he has scored 3 half centuries in all the matches, one each. And the surprisingly, the other betting prospect as I see in Milan. So it's a surprising. I think he performed really well both with bat and ball, but his batting is really better than the number 8 batsman. So his technique can be temperament. I think he should have a great future our if our selectors and our curators are providing better pitches for such a batsman, such kind of player. Because if you are to replace a player like Angelo Matthews, I feel like Milan can do kind of a bowling all round position, and we can stick to number 7 or number 7. We can easily occupy for him and give him the chance as a batter mainly. Uh, that's kind of a experiment we can do, and his bowling would be a bonus. Uh, by looking at his batting skills, I feel like that. But let's see. But the other batsmen, if who are knocking the door, they might be performing better than Milan. But as a
I mean,
analysis
all rounder, yeah. Yeah, because
all rounder,
I'm with you because if we recall the past, the Chamindavas, the great Chamindavas, so he was a brilliant swing bowler, and he was brilliant
mm,
when it comes to subcontinent with his bowling.
mm,
But he was a great batsman as well. So he was a reliable
yeah,
batsman, I would say. So I think this guy can play such a role in any conditions. But I wonder why he hasn't performed consistently with the bat when it comes to the first class, even though he
yes,
got
that's the thing.
350s. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's something that we need to think of. But by looking at the way that he went to his shots and the weight transferring on
mm,
his front foot shots, that was magnificent.
yeah,
And even the great commentators who came from a
yeah,
batting background spoke about him. So that was
yeah.
brilliant.
I
Yeah,
think he has a tendency to go after the spinners. I think that have
that
costed him
yeah
in
that
the first class matches in here. I feel like that.
that
But
would be his downfall because I
yeah,
remember that when the bat light came in Lords,
mm,
so in the second match in Manchester, so then Root was asked to bowl. Then he tried
yeah,
to go after him, and then he perished. So maybe that's what happening for him in the first
mm,
class. And the other question I'm going to ask from you is that with regards to the same topic of the the batsmanship. So when it comes to Sri Lankan first class cricket, we have 3 batters who are currently averaging more than 60. Kamidu Mendis, Pathum Nissanka, and Nishan Madushka. So everybody says that our conditions are not up to the standards, and these guys are playing in some slow, low conditions. But Pathum and Kamidu showed that the class doesn't, need any kind of conditions. So I mean, they perform really well in these alien conditions, in English conditions, which is cold and renowned to be one of the hardest conditions to bat. Coming from Asian background or from African background. So having said that, then the other guy, Nishan Madushka, why he couldn't perform well? Because we didn't see any elegance, we didn't see any fluency, and we didn't see any confidence on him either. So as per you, what do you think that what went wrong for him, as opposed to
yeah,
the other 2 contenders of him, Kamido and Pathum?
yeah. I feel like he's not in a great form in the international cricket arena. So he has performed well in the first practice match, but when it comes to business end, he's been struggling to find the uh, middle of the bat, and he's bit tentative. And to be fair, in the second match, it was really unfortunate that he was asked to bat open the innings after keeping for more than 100 overs. So it's really unfair for a youngster like him. And that could easily be given to, the gloves should be easily be given to Chandimal in the first place in the second match. But again, I think he's low in confidence at the moment, and his keeping was also not up to the mark.
Yeah,
And
I think he's I mean he's not a proper keeper in these test standards at the minute, so he has to
yeah,
improve in
yeah,
that part.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's additional burden that has become an additional burden for him. So he was not expecting that job. I think from his perspective, or there's no readiness from his end to keep the wickets and make the role of opener. So that might play some part of his downfall.
And also,
Other than that,
do you see any kind of his I mean lack of
so
kind of technical
so
kind of errors in his I mean batting
yeah,
style, or do you see any kind of yeah, issues in it?
yeah. Yeah, I think he's a bit struggling against the swinging ball, so he's quite vulnerable against the bases at the beginning, and he's always try to poke the bat at the balls that should have been left. Likewise, but all in all, it's all depends on how you are mentally ready to face the bowler. So if you are not confident enough at the moment. You even for a better even for a easy delivery to hit the ball, you will end up hitting the ball to straight to the fieldsman. So I think he's low in confidence, so better give him a breather and let an inform batsman or two come to the team, and
Yeah, I
we'll
think, I mean that's the
see.
interesting point about his next chances that we can discuss also in this segment.
Yeah,
If we are going
yeah,
to drop him, then I mean then we need to find out some better replacement. I'm not sure whether we
exactly.
have better replacement in the batting because Sadir is down and out in his confident and
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
form as well. So we can discuss that one also. Yeah, so that's what
yeah,
Nishan is all
yeah.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think those are the positives that we can take from out of this series. And from bowling perspective, Prasad, what are your thoughts? So who are the
Yeah.
positives?
I think we mainly played in these kind of seaming tracks. But when it comes to the ball, we are not used to this ball, the Duke ball, which has a more lacquer as opposed to the one that we are using down there in Sri Lanka, the Kookaburra. But still, I think Asita Fernando managed it superbly. I mean, normally, I think I mentioned this one in one of our early episodes as well. He doesn't have that build as a fast bowler, but his moral confidence and his can-do attitude is superb and top class. So he can beat any batter on a given day with his all those attributes, I would say. So and also he has a pace, and also now he has learned some swinging abilities as well. That was clearly mentioned by the current Sri Lankan bowling coach as well. I think Akib Chai,
Okay,
right?
Chan.
Yeah. So he mentioned that one very recently in one of the press conferences as well. So he has that all the attributes. So he is a top performer for Sri Lanka in terms of the bowling. And when it comes to the first match, very first match, Sri Lanka were about to win that one also. So he single-handedly bowled. I mean that inning. So he didn't have much assistance from the other paces at all in that match. Up there in Manchester. So. So he's the the standout performer in terms of Sri Lankan bowling in this tournament. And then I'm really impressed with Milan Ratnayaka. So when it comes to batting, you have points to highlight with regards to him, and when it comes to bowling also, because he's such a reliable bowler. He can hit the I mean a given length over and over again. So he has that inconsistency. Um, He doesn't have that extra pace, but still, he can move the ball in either way. So that is a great skill that we see. So, and also he got a good height as well. So he used all his attributes superbly in these conditions, even though he, toured this place for the first time. I think, except Dimut Chandimal and Angelo, none of these blokes had visited this country at all to play Test cricket. I think only Nishan Madushka had visited here
Uh,
to play first
Kusal
class.
Mendes was there, no?
Kushal
Kusal
Mendis was.
Mendes.
So yeah. So I think Milan Ratnayake is a great prospect for us in that aspect as well. And the other standout performer for me is Lahir Kumar. I mean, we keep blaming, and he keeps doing that, issues or mistakes over and over again. But at the same time, he, performs once in a blue as well. But when it comes to Test cricket, it is not that applicable. The once in a blue, I mean, that theory. He has been performing somewhat consistently in Test cricket, and this time around also, I think when he's come to the wicket column in this particular match which we won, I think he contributed nicely. So he's one of the main contributors as far as the Sri Lankan victory is concerned with the ball. So yeah, but Vishu Fernando, I think he didn't lived up to the expectations in first two games. But then Dhananjay smartly used him with the older ball. But as he as is the main pacer with the lot of experience. I mean he's the the most experienced pacer in Sri Lankan squad in this tour. So we can't only rely with him with the older ball. So he should be able to bowl with the new ball as well. But unfortunately, he did struggle. So but I have to highlight that two deliveries that he bowled. Uh, you know, I mean those two balls are rated as one of the two of the greatest deliveries bowled in this test match to get rid of Joe Root and Harry Brooks. They are best two batsmen. So ultimately he produced those two deliveries with the older ball. So those are the bowlers to be highlighted. And also the other point I need to highlight is that Dhananjay Silla DDS was underestimating himself. Uh, when it comes to the bowling. I don't think that he should do that run. Regardless of the condition, he has a knack of taking wickets in any ball. So in the first two matches, he didn't use himself as at all. Instead of that, I think he used Kamidu Mendes in the second test run, test the third session at the Lords, where that Joe Root and Gus Atkinson took the game away from us. So he kept using Kamidu while Atkinson was going after him. So I think Dhananjay should have bowled because he showed what he is capable of with the ball, with the red ball. In fact, in these kind of non-assistance conditions as well. In the third test match, he bagged some wickets, some useful wickets. So I think Dhananjay Shilla should act as an all-rounder in this format, I would say, with the part-time bowling skills. So that is to be highlighted because he took the ball only for few overs and he has some attributes or the some values under the wicket column. So those are the guys to be highlighted, but I'm not pretty much impressed with Prabhat Jayasuriya, and I have a question with regards to him when it comes to non-spinning conditions. So because I see that when it comes to non-spinning conditions, the opposition bowlers spinners are way better than him because he did struggle in New Zealand and then he was brought to here. So we saw a couple of good deliveries that he bowled to Wokes and Harry Brooks. Other than that, we didn't see anything at all in Lords where the pitch was kind of dry and brownish. So there, I mean, that's a question for the selectors in terms of picking him when it comes to a spinner in conditions like South Africa, which we have a tour in this year in a couple of months' time, and then in the conditions like New Zealand, Australia, or in England going forward. So that is something for the selectors to think of. Yeah, those are the things that I can highlight as far as the bowling is considered of Sri Lankan in this particular series. So Rakita, So it's going to be very interesting indeed, as far as our World Test Championship is concerned, because now within a 6 days time we are going to start another test match. That is on 18th to be precise, on this month. And that's going to be a 6 day test cricket because we have a general election in the country. So there will be an extra off day. So altogether 6 days then. So in this occasion, so all the matches are going to be played in goal. So this is something that we have to discuss in a separate episode because I'm not with this strategy at all. So Pakistan paid the price having played both the matches in Rawalpindi. um, Now, I mean, easily England could have played, these three matches in Durham, and then, I mean, up there in, some other cities, rather than giving all the matches, all the two matches in London, because they knew that, we have a track record in over, and also the wicket was brownish in, in Lords as well, even though we didn't capitalize. But, that's what we call the fair play. And also, even I know that, South Africa is going to give us a game in Durban, even though we, beat them. And also they have been beaten in number of occasions in Durban by the Asian teams. But they're going to give that. I mean, that's what the sportsmanship and to have some fair play. But Sri Lanka keep playing all the test matches in goal, which is not doing any good for Sri Lankan cricket as far as the bowling is considered and as far as the batting is considered to adapt to different conditions. Uh, Anyway, so that is a different topic that we can discuss. So with regards to our upcoming series against New Zealand, who are already playing some test cricket with Afghanistan in India at the minute. So afterwards, they will be touring Sri Lanka towards the end of this week. So by the time Sri Lanka are going back to the country, I think New Zealand should also be there. As far as the bowling unit is concerned for that tour, uh, who are your pick of the bowlers to be
Yeah.
included in that squad, Rakita?
Yeah, yeah, Prasad, I'm also with you on playing all the matches in goal. So we hardly see any matches being played at SSC like which. So earlier days we saw how Chaminda Was is bowling in the first hours of the first days of SSC pitches and how Murali is turning the ball like a magician, and later on the fourth or fifth days of play. So those those are the beautiful memories that we had in those days, and now it's all down to goal when a kind of a non-Asian team is traveling here. So and also we did play two matches in against Pakistan as well in goal. I think both the matches we played in goal. So likewise, I don't know. There could be some issues with the financial thing. So I don't know why we are keep playing
I think they're scared
at the
of
same venue.
I think they want to capitalize on the spin bowling. But having had this
But
kind of a wonderful attack from the paces, I don't know why they're still
mm,
scared of not giving, because we saw in Bangladesh they produce a very good green track in Sylhet in our last series.
yeah, yeah.
So those
Yeah,
guys are also doing that.
but yeah, so for the I mean, country like team like New Zealand, it's okay to take some home advantage, but uh, I feel like it's still we have some pitches that are giving some turn. Still SCC pitch is good, but I think Pizarra ground was not a happy hunting ground for Sri Lanka in the recent times. I think that's why they didn't opt for Pizarra, but still, it's
But we
a
could have played in Kandy Pallekele one game. Uh,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
a
Those are the
decent
options.
sporting pitch, yeah.
Those are the options. But I think due to the crowd that are attending to the matches, I think that's the only reason I can see other than the
No,
taking this spin.
I'm not
Yeah.
with that one either, because when it comes to crowd, I think we get decent crowds both in goal and Kandy. Um, but they're scared of playing in Kandy, thinking that teams like New Zealand, England will come in on top with their paceman. I think that's the reason.
Yeah,
Um,
could be. Yeah. Yeah, let's discuss about that one in a
Yeah.
separate episode. That's a good topic to discuss. And to your question of bowling department for the New Zealand series, I feel like we have to stick to spinners this time. So we had Ramesh Mendes, Prabhat Jayasuri, and Vandeze toward in England. So I think they will definitely stick to those players and give Vandeze another chance since he didn't get a chance to play any of the matches. And I don't think we will go we will choose more than three main spinners at that. Given that we have Dhananjay and Kamidu in the lineup, and dropping a Pacey who performed really well in the English soil is bit tough pill to swallow. So I think they will stick to the same paces that toured Asita, Lahiru, Vishwa, and Milan. And then it comes to yeah, some issues with Kasun Rajit. He has performed really well in the test cricket in recent times, and he has done nothing wrong. So only thing is he didn't get a chance to play in England. If he got a chance, I think that he could also contributed in good ways to contribute to our um, team's victory as well. So given that the only uh, possibility of dropping Pacey could be Vishwa in that case. But since he has delivered two unplayable deliveries in the last innings of England's test match, then I don't think selectors will take that decision. So from my perspective, we will have seven specialist bowlers: Ramesh Mendes, Prabhat Jayasuriya, Jeffrey Vandeze as spinners, and Asita Lahiru, Vishwa, and Milan. Milan, I would say he will be the bowling all rounder. So he will included as to strengthen the batting as well. Then we will have some room for Kasun Rajitha. But it's a tough call, and we need to take the uh, use of the features that are provided. So they might opt for dropping uh, Vishwa and add Nishan Piris or a better spinner to the lineup. Um, that's my understanding, and that's my analysis of the bowling department. I think from Prasad, I want to know how you are expecting our batting lineup should be for the next series. So given
Yeah,
that we will have to pick seven or eight batsmen, including these wicket keepers. So
wicketkeepers,
what's
yeah.
your thoughts?
Yeah, it's going to be a bit tricky because, yeah, I think Pathum is definitely there. So he's going to be a all format player going forward along with Kamadu Bendis. So those two will be kind of automatic picks as far as the batting is considered. And then, Dimut will be there, regardless his failure in this, conditions. So he just scored 7,000 runs, at average of 40, exactly 40. So he will be given some chances up until his retirement, I'm sure. And then I think so. Number three, it's going to be very interesting because we heard some rumors that Kusal Mendes will not be there. So Kusal Mendes will not be a part of it. So I think it's good in one way, even though he scored nicely in yesterday. But he should be given kind of a breather. So for that one, I believe that Sri Lanka is going to get somebody from South Africa, where Sri Lanka A team is currently playing A game with South African A. Today, Oshada Fernando scored 100, and also Pasir Surya Bandara scored a 50 as well. I think he's unbeaten at the minute. Oh, I think he got out as well around 60. So when it comes to first class cricket also, I think Pasithu Surya Bandara has an edge over Dinesh, I mean, over Oshada Fernando,
Oshada.
because Oshada Fernando didn't have a good run in the first class cricket before this inning. But he has always, good innings in South Africa, because he played pretty well in 2019 Test cricket for Sri Lanka. But I think it's between Oshada Fernando and Pasu Surya Bandar. With this Wom, I think they will go with Pasil Surya Bandara as opposed to Oshada Fernando, because we have some experience, because we are not going to drop Dimut Karatna and Angelo Matthews, so we have the experience. So rather than bring in an experienced guy again, I think this is a good time that we can test Pasil Surya Bandara, who has been hitting wonderful scores in first class cricket. I think next to Nishan Madushka, Pathum Nissanka, and Kamada Mendis. So Pastor Surya Bandar is the one who is averaging highly in first class cricket. I think this is a good time to test him at number 3, because nothing to lose, because we have some experienced players who can pile runs in these slow and low conditions in goal. So we don't need to worry about that. So we can test him. I see that after this match, I think this ongoing unofficial test match is about to be completed a day after tomorrow. After this, he will get a call to go back to Sri Lanka and to be a part of that squad. But I'm not sure that he will be given a chance to play in the 11 straight away. So he will be, I mean, he or Oshada Fernando will be there. And then, of course, Angelo Matthews, Chandimal are there as well. But I'm not sure about Chandimal's fitness. I saw that, he was about to come to the crease as well today, but he was still having that niggle there. So let's see how it goes. So definitely we need to think of an extra wicket-keeper batter as well. So in that occasion also, that will be a headache for selectors, either to pick Nishan Madushka or Sadira. So in that case, I think Nishan Madushka has an edge, because he has scored 100 just before this test series in first class cricket as well. He was amongst a run as opposed to Sadira in first class cricket as well. So again, I think automatically, I mean, Nishan Madushka will be picked over Sadira due to that stats, even though he failed in this uh, test series, because he played better innings in the in the warm-up game down there in Borussia than Sadir as well. So he holds an edge over Sadir in that case. In that
Yeah,
in that
sorry to
case,
interrupt you, Prasad.
yeah.
So, what do you think about KJP? So, can't we include him as the wicketkeeper batter?
Yeah, it's a
So,
good point. Yeah, it's a good point. Because I think he has not been disreg. I mean, he hasn't been disregarded at all. As far as the Test cricket is concerned, it's a good
so if
point.
Chandimal is also not there, so they might go for an experience option since the youngsters we are having at the moment are not in good form.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
But
an option, but I don't know his fitness. His
fitness, yeah, because we had
fitness
some
is the
fitness
main.
issues. Yeah,
Yeah.
because if he's picked and ultimately he will be given a chance to do the wicket keeping, so that will be a tricky
Yeah.
thing to
Mm.
keep against spin. Uh, that will be a tedious task. So I think automatic selections would be with Sadir and Nishan. So because I think he will be preserved for the upcoming ODI series. I mean the white ball cricket against West Indies, maybe because he
Mm.
was in the form as well. That's my thinking. Let's see how it goes. Hardly that he will be given a chance to play Test cricket as far as his fitness is concerned. To toil on that 40 degrees down there for 10 days maximum. Yeah. So and then I, I mean I believe that Chandimal will play, because I want him to play, because I mean goal is a happy hunting ground for him. He averages better than anybody else at the minute in this
Yeah, yeah.
us in this squad.
He has a double century as well in the
Yeah.
same ground.
So yeah, so I think he should be there. So let's hope that he will be recovered pretty soon. And then, like you said, in the batting lineup, so I think Kamidu Mendy is there, DDS there, and then I mean Milan Ratnayaka will be automatic pick to play. I think he'll be given a chance. We can't drop him all of a sudden. So those are the key batters I see in this squad. I mean, in the upcoming squad, which will be announced, I think, in a couple of days' time. So we expect that. I mean, we are expecting a newbie to be included. We should check either Pastor Surya Bandara or Nuwanidhi Fernando. And at the same time, I think, as like I mentioned, Oshad Fernandez knocking the door again, but better, give a chance to a newbie in the Sri Lankan family conditions. So that's what I believe as far as the batting is considered, Rakita. I think we spent a lot of time today in discussing all these things. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Period of cricket. And today we all are in a very glory mood, having beaten England on English soil. Uh, I mean, we could have simply won this series 2-1 if we included Pathum Nissanka in the first game in Manchester. If we hit
As an
at
opener,
least,
no?
yeah, if we hit at least
Yeah.
60 or 70, aggregated runs with in the both innings, then still we would have been in the winning side. So yeah, anyway, that's what happened. So Rakita, before we wind up, anything you need to highlight, because definitely we'll be having another weekly catch up before the first test. I
Yeah.
think we can ask our guys to comment in the comment section with the probable squad that they
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, so it's a tough call. So while discussing also, we had some options. We have mentioned some options. So you might also have better options to highlight. So please comment your squad, and we'll see who gets the correct squad. I mean, that's an interesting way of coming to a coming to a test series. From my end, and during our next weekly catch up, you will see that we can recall some great memories of Test cricket that played between Sri Lanka and New Zealand. So please do stay with us, and you will see how our last episodes, weekly episodes, has inspired these Test victories in somewhat. So we
Yeah.
just recalled the Oval victory in 1998 last week, and that happened this time around as well. So let's do some let's recall some happy memories from New Zealand and Sri Lanka Test cricket history. And I think let's wait
Yeah, I think.
till the squad is announced.
Yeah, I
That's
know,
what, yeah.
and also, I think we have been all this time, highlighting about some, emerging players. So
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
see,
Who gets
how
the
many,
chance?
oh yeah, how many, and who will
Mm.
get that chance in the
Mm.
upcoming squads as well. So as well as these, history recalling, so the emerging players. So all these segments are being covered in our episodes. So very interesting, and also we are also humbly happy when we see the results. So yeah. So let's wait and see the score as well. That will be announced. So in the meantime, so you can comment in the comment section of the probable, the squad for the upcoming two test matches against New Zealand. That will be really vital as far as the World Test Championship is considered, right, Rakita? Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
without taking any more time, so I think I mean we can wind up. So I mean we discussed a lot because we are happy, we are thrilled that we registered a magnificent win today on English soil. And that was a magnificent win as well because very comprehensive, not a nail biter at all. So, yeah, thanks all for listening to our segment today as well. So we look to be with you all in a couple of days' time with our weekly catch up. So thanks, Rakite, for being with me today as well.
Thank
So
you.
thank you very much, guys, again, and see you all pretty soon. Till then, bye for now.